course, Houston, Texas owner Bob McNair has been in the news for the last week when it was revealed by ESPN he had made a comment in the meeting between the owners and the players that, you know what, the inmates are running the prison. That didn't sit well with lots of players. In fact, most of the Texas players took a knee last Sunday to protest what he had to say. Well, on Monday in Houston, there was a community meeting led by the NAACP, also attended by a number of political leaders. McNair was invited but ended up skipping the meeting, officials said, for health reasons. Joining us right now is Rodney Ellis. He is a Harris County Commissioner, one of the folks who also was at that meeting. Commissioner, glad to have you here. So have you heard directly from Bob McNair?
No, I've spoken to his representative, but I've not spoken to Mr. McNair.
Frankly, that's strange. You're a longtime state senator. I know you well. I'm born and raised in Houston. And he, of course, it was taxpayers that built his stadium, taxpayers that funded improvements to that stadium. And so for him not to talk to you, not to be in contact with Congresswoman Sheila Jackson-Lee, Congressman Al Green, Houston NAACP, it's as if Bob McNair wants to avoid any conversations.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Now, were I in his shoes, I would have picked up the telephone. But look, we anticipate a meeting probably as early as mid next week. And I've been told by his representative that they're looking forward to the visit. But obviously, they'd like for this to go away. We're going to do as much as we can front and center.
Right. And the thing here is, again, part of the problem here is that you only have a handful of owners in the NFL who really understand what the players are trying to do. The San Francisco 49ers, when I talked, we had Dr. Harry Edwards on a panel at the Congressional Black Caucus. He said when Colin Kaepernick initially took his stand, he went, the owner of the 49ers, Jed York, said, Harry, you're over this. This is your thing. He said Kaepernick is given $1 million. Jed York said, I'm going to match the $1 million. They began to do other things in San Francisco where they began to meet with police to try to bridge the gap. In Philadelphia, Jeff Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, one of his players, Malcolm Jenkins, is one of the leaders of this. They had a meeting with Commissioner Roger Goodell and the players where they brought in people in the criminal justice system to talk about what was happening in Philadelphia. The video is posted on their website. These are the type of things that the owners could be doing, but as long as folks like McNair want to ignore this, then the players are going to say, we're going to keep protesting.
You're absolutely right. Look, I commend the players. They came up with a comprehensive laundry list of well-thought-out criminal justice reforms. That video that I know you've seen that they did in Philadelphia, going out, doing real outreach, tangible things, and that's the kind of stuff that I have told McNair's representative, and I'm going to tell him when we do have the meeting, that's what he ought to do. It's not an opportunity to go in and talk about uniforms or scholarships and all of that. Let's go to the issue that these courageous young black men have taken a stand for, and I think that's the best way to resolve this issue. If any NFL owners think it's hurting that bottom line, they ought to focus less on that bottom line and on the reason that these young men are protesting.
What do you want Houston, Texas owner Bob McNair to do in Houston on this issue of social justice?
I think he ought to look at best practices, look at what's been done in San Francisco and Philadelphia. That's a good model. But also here in terms of bail reform, that's one on that 15-page memo. It's online. I know you are aware of it. One of the key issues was bail reform. And Harris County is ground zero in terms of challenging the money bail system. We got a Republican federal judge who has put a restraining order on us having the money bail system, which is what Sandra Bland, right next to us in a neighboring county, in Waller County, got caught up in. Too many people are simply sitting in jail because they don't have the money that you and I and the average Anglo-American has. That's why these jails are so full of people of color on fairly insignificant charges, and they get trapped in that system. So I think that McNair could play a role in encouraging some of his friends, a hierarchy of the Republican Party in Texas, in Harris County, to settle that bail lawsuit. That's just one.
And at that point, And on that point, Bob McNair is a major Republican Party donor. In fact, he's given more money to the Republican Party than any other NFL owner. We also know that former Texans Dwayne Brown, who was traded on Monday, said that in 2008, McNair came down to the locker room after the election and was pretty upset that Obama won. Just the other day, another person on Sports Radio 610 in Houston confirmed that actually took place. And so this is what amazes me. All these people who keep saying to the players, keep politics out of sports. Well, the owners bring politics in sports. You look up who's sitting in their suites. You see.
Yeah, it's clearly double standard. It's clearly a double standard. Politics is okay when it's their politics. But look, at that community meeting, I made the comment, this is not really a partisan issue. I don't agree with anything the Koch brothers stand for. I don't agree with them on how they spell their name, by the way. But in terms of criminal justice reform, they have put a lot of effort into that. So that clearly are Republicans in Washington, D.C. Senator Kamala Harris teamed up with Senator Rand Paul to talk about bail reform. I mentioned that one because Harris County really ought to be the model if we settle that lawsuit. The plaintiffs have won. The judge has ruled this unconstitutional system. Mr. McNair and the other key powers in this city, business leaders, could tell the county, why are you spending $5 million fighting something you know is wrong? And that's just one perfect example here in this county.
Last question for you. I know there's been some controversy in Houston about the erecting of a statue of Bob McNair outside of the stadium. The money was raised privately. You are opposed. You've been on the record opposed to that statue. In light of this, is that statue still going to go up?
Roland, I hope not. You know, this country is littered with people who wrote our history simply because they were in power. And I just believe when you're going to erect a statue, put somebody on a pedestal, not because they're your friend, they're your family member, you know them, because they made a donation to you. It's because you believe in what they stood for or stand for, and you want other people to emulate it. In this regard, Mr. McNair does not deserve a statue on public land in front of a taxpayer-supported facility.
All right, then. Commissioner Rodney Ellis, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot. And also, of course, I'm sure I see you got your orange on. Is that Astros orange you got on?
Proud of it. Those Astros were powerful.
Yeah, well, of course. Oh, absolutely. So you see, that's why I got the jersey as well. So there's going to be a parade on Friday at 2 p.m. In Houston. So unfortunately, I'll be in New York, can't be there, but certainly proud. First World Series title in Astros history. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.